Good evening, guys. It's been, oh, a really long time since I've made a video, and I do apologize for that. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but realistically, there's no good excuse for it. I don't even know how to explain it. I've had a lot of people asking lately, where did I go? What's going on? What's happening with This Week in Linux? What's happening with me? Did I die? No, I'm alive. I'm fine. I've been in a bit of a funk recently, and as I always mention, time is very, very short. But as of late, I've had some spare time late in the evenings. Like I said, I've been in kind of a funk that has made me just not really want to do anything. As you can see, I'm still shaving. I'm actually growing out some sideburns, but that's, a long time in the work. Making progress with using a shavette, which is essentially a straight razor, but with a replaceable blade. I've also been using a safety razor. You probably don't care about that, but I know some of you out there are wet shavers and do use the non-cartridge type shaving utensils. So having a great time doing that, honestly. I mean, it's one of those, okay, I hate to even put it this way, but I'm a person who likes to have a hobby. And for a long time, video making was my hobby. I obsessed with it. I spent tons and tons of time doing it. And when the whole Google thing happened back in June, it kind of felt like my hobby got tarnished because, it had become more than a hobby at that point. It had become a hobby that was a business that was, I don't know, just sort of rambling at this point. But yeah, basically, it was a hobby for me. It still is a hobby, and it's something that I do still enjoy doing. But when I go thinking about how to make the videos for the This Week in Linux channel, specifically the news videos and the amount of research involved in them, the not even scripting, but half scripting that I do, the amount of takes that it takes to do it, I don't know, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and then I start thinking of other hobbies that I've got. Of course, not a hobby, but a lifestyle. Spending time with my family is number one for me and always has been. And I've been doing a lot more of that recently. Been spending a lot of time with my son, teaching him lots of fun things. He about half the time now he acts like a ninja. He'll like he's gonna punch somebody. It's all playing, and he has a lot of fun. But anyway, I've also, like I said, hobby-wise, been shaving. Shaving is an odd thing to have as a hobby, but it's something that is a pleasurable experience. Right now I shaved a few minutes ago, and my face feels refreshed. It tingles a lot, and it's a nice sensation. If you've never done a traditional wet shave, I do highly recommend it at least once. You can do it with the cartridge razor, just using the brush and the shave cream, and it's different. The shave cream I've been using actually has menthol in it, so it's got this nice, refreshing feeling. But yeah, so between spending a lot of time with the family, spending a lot of time doing stuff at work, other than that, I've been watching an awful lot of Doctor Who. I am completely caught up at this point. Speaking of work, since I mentioned that earlier, I'm actually getting a new machine at work. Got it yesterday. It's a quad-core Intel Core i5 machine, 4 gigs of RAM, so it should be very usable, very useful for the web development stuff that I do, for compiling and running tons and tons of browsers at the same time to test. However, I have a second machine in my office all the time that I keep Linux on, and normally I keep Fedora on it. I'm actually testing out OpenSUSE on it right now, but I was talking to my boss the other day. We just entered into a Microsoft licensing agreement for 6 years or some ridiculous amount because it was in the budget and we needed to upgrade everything. But in talking to him, I kept saying, what is it that we do that requires us to use Microsoft? I realize that it's in the standards, that we have to have it, but is there anything that would keep us from moving away from Microsoft and moving toward open source? He said, not really. He asked me if I thought it would actually be viable to switch everybody over to Linux on the desktop. I said, yes, I do think it is a viable option. There are a lot of distros that work very well within an Active Directory domain. Linux servers for file servers are very easy to work with. It's definitely a viable option and would be a great opportunity. Perhaps once the next few years, we'll test over the next few years, just seeing how things work and how they interact with each other. Maybe if I'm really lucky, in another 5 or 6 years, I can convince them to switch everything to Linux. That's head in the clouds there thinking, but you never know. Something might work out. As of right now, actually, I've been, like I said, testing OpenSUSE at work a little bit. My friend Fish is a teacher, and he actually uses Linux in his classroom. And he brought it up to me recently that OpenSUSE is the distro of choice for his classroom because of how easy it is to get up and going in a Microsoft environment. Ubuntu does have the options to join the AD environment, but from what he's told me, it's not terribly easy. I tried it myself, and it just didn't want to play nicely. Of course, Novell being hand in hand with Microsoft, it makes sense that OpenSUSE and SUSE Enterprise Edition would work very well with AD. Anyway, I've gone about 7 different directions at this point, and I don't think there are going to be any cuts or edits in this video just because of time and everything. So I hope everything is going very well with you guys. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with the main channel. I'm not abandoning it. I'm taking a bit of a hiatus, a bit of a break, just getting everything back in order, getting everything mentally back on track, getting back into that right mindset to do it again. And I don't know, I might have a couple of fun little Linux-related projects coming up, considering the idea of building an ultra-low power, like an Atom machine to run as a server, because I don't even necessarily wanted to mention it, but I don't have a desktop, my main desktop anymore, because I hadn't touched it in so long. Like you've seen, I haven't really been doing videos. My cousin said, I need a desktop, and I need it right now, and it needs these specs, and the specs were identical to what my desktop had in it. So he paid me for the desktop, and that's actually part of the way that I afforded the upgrades for my Mac. So I'm going to be dual booting Linux on the Mac, so I will definitely still have Linux around, but I want to set up a very low power server, low spec, low power, with some of the spare parts I've got. I don't know, I'm still up in the air. The option is either, I've got my, camera not on a tripod, I've got my Google Chrome CR48 that I'm running Ubuntu on, and I could use that as a server if I figure out how to keep it from turning off after so long. Or I could actually, like I said, build a little Atom machine, a micro ATX board or ITX board or whatever, because I've got like a laptop memory and I've got a hard drive or 2 laying around. Anyway, I'm sort of rambling at this point. I'm trying to figure out what sort of projects I can do and how I can get back into the video making mode. The biggest part is finding the time to do it, which, as you know, my time is really, really tight and has been for a long time. The other part is just finding the motivation and getting out of this proverbial funk, I guess. Like I said, I hope everything's going well with you. I'm going to try to get everything back on track, hopefully soon. I'm leaving town for the weekend to go visit with my wife's family, and maybe I can try to get back in the right mindset there. I mean, I am obviously getting back a little bit on track in that I've been sitting here talking to you guys for a while, but that's no substitute for making good quality content on a regular basis. I've gotten inspired by several YouTubers that I follow. Jax Films, for instance. He's a comedian, does an awesome creeper face that I can't even replicate because I've got the fat face, but hilarious guy, and he is on this certain schedule where every Wednesday he does a live show, every Monday he does a Your Grammar Sucks, where he takes comments and makes fun of them, and Friday he does his comedy sketches. And that sort of thing is what I've always needed to do with the main channel, is just have a set schedule where I can put out content on specific days and try not to miss those days. You know, it's unfair to the audience to just completely walk away, which is exactly what I've done. But it's also unfair to not be predictable. You know, what day is the news going to come out? Who knows? That's not fair. And speaking of the news, I do have to say there's a guy named Infinitely Galactic who I think is a YouTube partner, and he's got 20-some hundred subscribers. He did a news video recently, and I do have to applaud him for that. Someone else stepping up and taking the reins and just helping out the community. Definitely appreciated. Thumbs up there, man. If for some reason I don't get back into doing news very soon, if someone wanted to step up and do it, that's awesome. Like I said, I'm going to try. But it's just life. Just life. There's no really good way to put that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go at this point. It's probably been like 25 minutes or something now. So I hope everything is well with you. I know I've said that 6 times now, but I do mean it. I do talk to a lot of you on Google Plus, and I haven't been on IRC in a while because the desktop's been out of commission, but trying to get back on so I'll be reachable again. But Google Plus and Twitter and Facebook, I'm reachable on all those places. So look me up there if you need something. Until I see you again, I hope things are great. Bye.